Let's look at those fender skirts he fabricated for the 54, I believe. 53. Started on this side, and you got to make it for this side. Whoa! He's been working hard on this one. Whoa! Made fender skirts for it. All the sheet metal work is done. Where you gonna put it at?
I'm gonna put it down there so I can walk around it.
Oh.
I'll put it back.
Tire flat.
Yeah. Line work on it and shit.
So it's two bolts from.
Reach up under there. On the edges.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Fabrication.
And it's got two pins in the top. You just push the pins up, push the skirt in. I didn't finish working it under there yet.
Yeah.
But I got the skirt all braced up.
So this is a 54. Other than 53. Looks good. Them the tail lights you fabricated, right?
No.
That's on the other one. That's on the 50.
Well, the 53, the only thing I did on that was put an old school overhang on it.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the one that I want to put the Buick.
All the Buick tail lights.
Yeah, but I can always do that after I. If you look at it, all this is ballooned out, and then I float it back into the car.
They didn't come with skirts, right?
Well, I think it was an aftermarket thing. But because I moved them fender wells out, them fenders, the quarter panels out so much on the bottom,
Yeah.
the stock ones wouldn't fit it.
Gotta get something to get that out. Try to smother it. Woo! Woo! That was scary. That was really scary. I burnt my hat. Woo, that sucker backfired. I thought I wasn't gonna never get that fire out. Too much gas. Oh man. So I played around with the carburetors as much as I could without taking them off. All of the choke sliders in the carburetor are frozen solid. So that's why you can't turn the choke on. So next step is going to be pulling the carburetors off. I hate to, but that's going to be what I'm going to have to do. So y'all just stay tuned in. I just want to end the video right here. So I gotta get some time to get those carburetors off and make sure I do it right without tearing up anything. Been kind of under the weather the last couple days because we got some weather changing. It's been warm a couple days, then back cold. Being outside a lot, feel kind of down and out. So I'm gonna get myself well a little bit. That way I can concentrate and get those carburetors off. Alright, so back with the Goldwing. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting these carburetors off. First of all, I got the seat off. Hey, that was it. Okay, we're done. Just look at all this dirt daubers mess up under here. Looks like some mice droppings. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this fake gas tank cover off. Like I said, we got the seat off, and go get down to those carburetors down there. Ugh. I don't want to, but I got to, so I'm gonna get at it. So I got the top part of the air box off. That's where the air filter goes, down in there. So I got the spark plug wires off. I went ahead and took an air hose. It had a lot of leaves and dirt daubers, nest floating around. So I'm gonna take these intake boots off. Now, for what I see on some of the other guys on YouTube, they left the intakes on there. One guy actually loosened the clamps and just pulled them off. And he was able to slide the whole carburetor setup out on this side over here. So hopefully we can do the same thing. Looks pretty simple if you are mechanically inclined, or maybe not. There's plenty of videos out there, guys pulling the carburetors off of these bikes. So I'm learning myself, so I can't just walk you through everything, but I'll do my best. So there's 4 bolts. The one guy did pull these boots off. Wait, I think he turned it to the side. Well, I'm gonna go to the other side and take those loose. And then I guess we can determine I would say if you're gonna do these, get you a good stool to sit on, because it's a lot of bending down and stretching. I got the spark plug wires. They're pretty simple how they go back on, because they got these little covers. It's kind of like a puzzle. So I got the fuel line unhooked. The only thing that's still hooked up is the choke and throttle cable. pretty sure if I can pull a carburetor off one of those V45 Magnus, I can pull a carburetor off of Goldwing Carburetors. Probably gonna have to pull these boots all the way off. About to get a stitching for that. I think if you pull these boots off, these intake boots with the with these things here, it'll make it slide through easier. I don't know if these ever been out before. They don't look like they have. I mean, they definitely moving. So I'm going to say, so they won't be catching everything. It's got some little, it's got some little tubes up under there too. This side's loose. Look like it's just one clamp. It's got like a little O-ring or something on there. You want to kind of keep up with them now. I'm going to get some paper towels or something to stick it down that hole so it won't drop that down in there. It's like this little metal tube right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's coming off of the intake. Huh. That clamp was loose. I'm pretty sure they've been off before. Stay. This thing being a 1985, it's probably seen its fair share of carburetor rebuilds throughout the years, I guess. I don't know if that one's gonna come off. There we go. Boots look like they're in good shape. I don't see any cracks or nothing. Move that out of the way. There where it goes. So here's those little, I don't know if you can see that down there. Try to get y'all there close. These little metal tubes right here, they just pop out of the intake. I mean, out of the, well, I guess you call it, actually it's the block. That is attached to the bottom of each carburetor. Oh. Put that in there. There's one. There's two. Really loose now. You got those unhooked. So now need to go to the other side. Okay, let's get these boots off. We probably don't have to take this side off. I just didn't want that side to be catching. Eventually they're gonna have to come off. Guess I'm gonna have to clean the inside of the carburetors up again. Maybe we can just flip them up. I know this one is gonna catch this crash bar. Well, let's see, can we get these bars up, those tubes. I think we'll be good. I just didn't want the other ones catching. Guess I'm putting those holes too. All right. Don't want nothing falling down in the motor. It's a lot of leaves and stuff still. In there. That one's gonna count. We got some slide action. Have to get it out a little bit if I put something there. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta do it, you know? No matter how hard the job is, you just gotta do it. You want something done. So I'm gonna easily slide that out. We're going it's like pushing the baby out. I don't know how that is. And we gotta get it out far enough where we can get the carburetors, the throttle cables off, because they're on that wheel right there. Let's see the choke cable. That's the choke cable right there. So looks like 10 millimeter. I need to mark these cables so I know which one goes where. Get a 10 wrench. I got something marking this. Well, we can just use a zip tie. So, the one with the zip tie on it goes on top. One cable. This hose is in my way. Right in my way. Oh, I can't get my hand out of there. The cables are long enough, but something's catching. It's the choke. The choke cable's catching. I have to get some light up in there. Let me get some light in there, take that choke cable off, and get this other throttle cable. I mean, it's loose, so they're ready to come out. I ain't gonna be able to get y'all in there. Alright, so I got the cables unhooked. The spark plug wires will give me some problems, but it's like pulling out a big suitcase. Just gotta gently pull them out. Here we go. Look at that. Just look at that monstrosity of intake carbureted system. That is unreal. It's a 4-barrel on steroids. So the carbs are out. You can see ain't nothing up under there. There's a nut. I don't know where that come from, but we'll collect that. I didn't do it. You see, that's all. It's just empty all the way through. You see all the way through the other side. So we'll get these up on the table and flip them over, pull the bowls off, see what they look like inside. Make sure I don't need a kit. Hopefully we could just clean them up without having to buy any carburetor kits or nothing. But you know, a lot of people are like, oh, those things are hard to work on. I mean, you got YouTubers out there that's done it. There's trillions of videos on these bikes, and that's the easiest way to get them out. Now going back in, might need somebody to grab it on the other side, because you got these little pipes. It's probably gonna be hanging up, but it's not a big deal. So anyway, we'll quit yapping. Get these things up on the table. Alright, so I got that cover pulled off where we can see the top of the carburetors, and had some acorns and stuff in there. Good thing it's got these little screens, because that'll keep stuff from falling inside of it. So where should we start, top or bottom? I say let's start at the bottom. Let's get these bowls off and see exactly what the carburetor is looking like. Then we'll take the sliders out. This is the main part of the carburetors anyway. So I would recommend starting at the bottom. I don't think these ever been into. The screws look really nice. I mean, I could be wrong. The bike's only got 63,000 miles on it. So, I don't know. Don't look like glue. Find a spot to. Just as I suspected, gangrene. Ew. Yeah. I don't know if you can see in there or not, but that one's pretty runchy. It's got all that green stuff in there. The jets are black. I bet you yep, the needle's stuck. So that's that carburetor. We know that one's gonna have to be cleaned up. The thing I really hate is the choke slides are stuck, because I have had problems where they wouldn't come out, and it almost destroys the carburetor, the way it functions, because you can't operate the choke. So I'm really thinking about just go ahead and order a carburetor kit if I can. Those bowl gaskets, carburetor bowl gaskets, they look all flat. Another greenie. So we just need to set these out. We take them off. Needle stuck. Kind of figured that. Probably gonna have to detach them from this thing and soak them. I mean, I don't see how the gas was coming out of the drain bowls, because all these needles are stuck. Might be able to blast through them with some carburetor cleaner, but I don't know. Don't you just love it? That's the best looking one. Ooh. It's not as green. Man, that is bad. At least it don't have that white chalky stuff inside of them. Because that's when it really turns bad. When they get that, it's like it turns into like dust, chalky dust. I'd rather have the kind of green stuff than that white chalky stuff that gas turns into when it sits for a long time. But it's got some hard, look at those jets. I mean, they are just stopped up. So I'm gonna have to break them down. I don't know if I'm gonna try and blow through them, clean them out without taking them off of here, because that is a job, buddy. It's got all these hoses, and we might be able just to blow through them. I don't know what this thing does. This is some kind of vacuum system. I don't know what that is. But you can see how the throttle operates with the cables. But another thing is the chokes. The chokes are stuck. And this thing ain't right either. Now we got gas coming out. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. These are the choke slides right here. This little arm. When you pull that cable, let's see, where is it? It's right here. This little arm right here. The cable hooks onto it. There's a bracket, and when you pull the cable, it's supposed to operate these little levers to pull the chokes out, and every one of them is stuck, I think. So I'm gonna have to take these little arms off of each carburetor and try and free those up. That's what I'm saying. I'm probably gonna have to just take the carburetors off, put them in the ultrasonic cleaner so I can get these chokes to move. I think one of them moves. I know that one's stuck. But anyway, I'm going to play around with them and try and get these chokes unstuck before I go breaking it all down and get the ultrasonic cleaner and get the jets out and stuff. That didn't have no gas in it, so that needle wasn't even. Some of them are probably half open. But this one here, raunchy. Alright, so let me do some thinking on that. So I got on the Amazon and ordered a carburetor kit, $37. That ain't too bad. So I pulled the floats out. As you can see, all these needles are stuck. I mean, it wasn't gonna never run. I was wasting my time. That one's stuck. That one's stuck. So the kit comes with new gaskets, all new jets, new needles and seats, and I think it comes with the needles for the sliders. So I'm just gonna go through and just kind of take them apart and get them ready to either be soaked or cleaned. That just stopped pouring up. I think all of them are the same. Still ain't messed with the chokes yet. But I just want to do some investigating. I mean, that stuff is hard as a rock. Let's pull the main jet out. I hate these hoses is in the way. This one right here has got a small crack in it. I really just need to investigate it too. It could be make a vacuum leak. We'll probably end up replacing it. Get that out of the way. This is the main jet here. So, I mean, I'm tempted to just disconnect them off of here and soak like 2 at a time without really breaking them down. That way we know they're gonna be clean. Ooh, look at that. That is all gummed up. So I can imagine what the inside of the carburetor is going to look like. Yeah, now look at that. That's just don't you just love it? Now we need to get that frozen needle and seat out. I think that's a 10. It's got little screens on there. That's cool. Really keeps the trash from going through. Don't want to lose that, but the needle, it is hung up. That's cool though. It's got little screens at the bottom. You don't see that. I guess they do. How much trouble it would be to pull these off. So, excuse me. It wasn't no way no gas was getting through these carburetors. I don't care what kind of carburetor cleaner you would have sprayed in it or put in the gas tank. This bike's been sitting and it shows it. But like I say, at least it's not that chalky stuff that gas turns into. It deteriorates, and I have seen it eat up a carburetor. I think if it sat any longer, it would have. So we'll just go ahead and get them stripped down. That little screen stuck in there. come out. Got to get a pick and pick the screen out on that side. So I'm gonna mark everything. I got to get these off, and I really need to flip it over, get the sliders out too. So I'm gonna find a box so I can put this stuff in. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull these sliders out. Make sure those diaphragms ain't bad. I ain't never really seen one go bad. Oh shoot. Ain't no way that was gonna run. These things are stuck. It didn't even have no throttle. So that means I'm gonna have to pull these off. I'm gonna have to pry up on these sliders. Oh, there we go. Got some funky stuff on it. Rubber looks good though. I gotta make sure I put these back in the right carburetor. Actually, the choke slide, you can see it through this little hole right here. So if I get some penetrating oil or something down in there, probably free it up. Hopefully. That one came out. That one looks good. Lot of bits and pieces. The carburetor bowls, they all the same, so it don't matter about those going on different carburetors. But the sliders, different story. There's no tears or rips, so good there. Be careful with them. That looks pretty good. So the diaphragms for the sliders are in good shape. So my next step will be, I got to get out this center jet. There's a center jet that goes through the middle of each carburetor. That's part of the main jet. I got to see about popping those out, and then work on either breaking this down on each side, unhook the linkages. Maybe I can keep two carburetors together and soak them all, two each. And I might just be able to get these chokes freed up. But let me find some boxes to put that stuff in, because it's getting to be a big puzzle. Alright, so I got some more room to work with. Had to get the rest of that stuff put up. So I'm disconnecting some of these hoses. This little hose here goes down to like a crossover tube, and this is for the goes to the intake up to the carburetor. And then this is one of the fuel lines over here. And that hose right there, I don't want to destroy the hoses. Got it. So this is the hose that goes from carburetor to carburetor. So I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way off of there. It's got a little clamp on there. If you can save it, save it. Hose don't want to come off without a fight. So that was the main hose that goes from carburetor to carburetor, and your fuel pump hooks to the other end. And then there's a vacuum hose on the bike that hooks right here. So then you got this linkage here that needs to come off, because this linkage is actually what connects your throttle flaps. And they got some weird looking small Carter pins. Light in a little closer. First set of Goldwing carburetors I'm ever going to clean. Well, I can't say ever going to clean. First ones I've ever cleaned. Smallest Carter pin I've ever seen. Don't want to lose that. It's like a little flat washer and a neoprene washer. The metal goes on top, and there's a little bushing So don't want to lose that either. Matter of fact, I might stick them back on there and put the cotter pin back in. So that's loose from that carb. Now I gotta take the other side loose. Same scenario here. It's got a little bitty cotter pin. Have to get some new ones. Just a little bitty bushing in there. Surely don't lose that. I don't think it's gonna come out of that one though. It's stuck in there pretty good. So now the throttles are free. So the next step is going to be to disconnect the choke. There's only one choke that's free on the whole setup. And I think it's this one. So you can't get the arm off because the way it hooks on the choke, that little arm, look if you can see it. It's kind of hard for me to focus in on it. But if you see that little arm right here, it hooks around the choke. So it's kind of hard. You can't get that arm off of there, off the choke slide. Hooks right there, hooks onto it. You can take the nut loose, the little plastic nut, but you can't get that arm off. So I guess I'm just gonna have to try and soak it with the choke, with this cross arm on top still hooked on there, and hopefully they free up. I know one of them moves, one of them don't. I mean, 3 don't and 1 does. That one don't move. I don't want to break it off in the carburetor. You'll never get it out. So I don't know if I can get that off of there. Let's see, what if we take this little nut loose here. There we go. So you can't get that arm off of there. Even if you take that rod loose. So I'm going to have to try and soak the carburetor with the chokes in there, with the little sliders in there. But if you look at the carburetor, this hole right here, that's where the choke slides back and forth. The little slider in there. And like I say, that arm, that's what makes it go in and out. But I guess I'm going to have to, like I say, soak it with it in there. Hopefully it free up. Because I don't want to break this piece here. Because then I have to order that. Finding somebody that's got a set of carburetors that they're selling parts off of. But I can loosen the little nut up though, and that'll probably let fluid get down in there. I just hate I can't get it off. Is that a washer? Is that a washer? That's a bushing. Wait a minute. I might be wrong. That bushing slides out of there. Maybe. Wait a minute. If I can just get it to. Come unhooked. It's got a little slot there. I guess they put that. There we go. They put that little slot in the carburetor body so you can just take that bushing out. Now we're getting somewhere. I should have had throttle down before I did this. There we go. That's the little arm I was telling you about. It hooks around the choke slide, which is stuck. This is supposed to pull we could take that off now. Take the spring off. Now we're getting somewhere. So that's the little slider there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's stuck in the carburetor. Oh, it's turning. Aha! We got one out. So that's your choke slide. Have to clean that up. Yes, that's one. So I got to do the same thing with the other carburetor, but this carburetor is facing in. I think they're gonna free up though. So I ain't gonna go any further. Take a break for a minute. I'm gonna work with these other chokes and get them out, and then I'll be able to get these carburetors off of this manifold, and they'll be ready to soak. So hopefully this works out. If we get it back together and it runs right. Alright, back to breaking these things down. So what I did, I took some zip ties. I got some black ones and some white ones, and I put a zip tie on this carburetor and on this side of the airbox housing, and I did the same over here. So when I take these off of here, I know where they go back on. So I got some of the choke arms unhooked. So I'm going to start with this side here and pull these two carbs off. Sorry if I sound stuffy still kind of going through this cold, but I want to get these in the ultrasonic cleaner so they can be soaking. So when the kit comes in, we can put them back together, and I won't forget how. So I had to use an impact driver with a good bit. You gotta have a good bit to get these Phillips head screws off. You can't use an El Cheapo screwdriver. It's one thing I forgot to do, and that was get that center jet out of there. Have to flip it back over. I don't think it matters on these. Your main jet goes right through the center of the carburetor. Yeah, it does. That's the main jet. Sometimes the main jet, when the main jet screws in two, it also has another jet down there. Let's see if I can get this out. Something like a drill bit or something. Might work. No, it don't have a it doesn't have a jet that comes out of the middle. It's actually your needle seat where your slider needle goes. Sometimes those come out and it'd be a jet, but no, they don't come out. So I ain't gonna worry about that. We ain't gonna worry about it. We're just going to continue to take these carbs off. Some of those come out, but these don't. Oh man, you gotta have a good screwdriver to get these Phillips head screws off. And just strip them. Oh, they're sitting on some dowel pins. You have to be very careful because right in the center of these carburetors there's some pipes, plastic pipes. That's where your fuel goes through. And then there's a spring here. That's what joins your throttles together. So you got to be careful not to lose any parts and don't break nothing. I'll probably just take that spring out of there before it goes flying across the room. And oop, just like that, just like that. I see it though. I see it. You lose it in a heartbeat. like a flathead screwdriver. Alright. You want to bring them off at the same time. Looks like there's some gaskets back there too. Okay, there's the two carburetors, and like I was saying, those plastic pipes right there, that's where your air and your fuel goes through. That's going to be like a bypass overflow. This is where the fuel goes through, the main fuel. So carburetor cleaner normally don't eat up rubber. The stuff I use is the Berryman's carburetor cleaner. So I might just leave these connected together just like this and throw them off in there. Hope for the best, because if you split these, sometimes you get them out of sync and then you have to sync them again, and they got little springs and stuff in there between them, and they are a booger. So I am going to disconnect this choke. I think that was free. No, that was stuck. So what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to try and zip tie them together somehow where they won't fall apart, and that'll hold them in place when I put them in the cleaner. So it's just doing motorcycle carburetors, especially four of them together, can be a job, a nightmare. So this rod here is what connects to that choke rod, and this arm, that's what makes the chokes. We hook the cable to it, so I got it disconnected. So I got to do the same on this side, split these from this housing and get them ready to go on the cleaner. But first I'm going to deal with that one first. Since it's off, I got to get that choke unstuck and go ahead and get it out of the way so I won't be working on this and knock it off the table. And then I'm going to get these off, and then they're ready to go in the cleaner. So let me get to work on that. We'll get them soaking and hope for the best. So I had to end up removing this manifold thing here. It's just 3 screws. I end up removing it off the bottom because the choke linkage is held on by 1 screw right here, and it's connected to this carburetor, but this is one of the chokes that's frozen, so I'm trying to get that rod off. These things are a booger bear. Can't get that rod off of there. Because the choke is hung up on this one. And I think it's stuck halfway out. There's a little T90 spring down there. Oh boy. It'd be easier if these chokes wasn't stuck. Just the last one. I'm trying to look and pull it off at the same time. And I'm just gonna have to pull that carburetor, pull these off of here with that lever stuck on there, because I can't get that choke lever off. And this is the last one that the slide for the choke is stuck. Unless I just leave it on there and hope it free up in the cleaner. Because well, it's actually moving, I think. Oh yeah, it is moving. So that choke is working. There it goes. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave that bad boy on there. I was gonna leave the whole arm and everything. I'm gonna pull this whole unit right here. It's supposed to go like that. So the cable's hooked on there. It pulls. That's what operates the choke on both sides. So I'm gonna basically just put that back together. I'm gonna put the whole rod and everything off of there. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna leave that out. A little bushing. Since that choke's working, I'm not gonna worry about it. Kind of gummified. Ah, that's got me worried. I think it'll come out of there now. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to get back in. It's moving pretty free though. Tell you what, I'm gonna spray some of this throttle body cleaner in there. Ooh. That'll kind of help it out. There it goes. Look at that. It's got a spring in behind that slider. I don't know if I showed you, but this is the choke slider here. It's got a spring in there, and when you pull that arm for the choke, it goes in and out of the carburetor like that. Make sure you don't want to lose that. So yeah, I'll leave that just like it is. Just like that. It's not gonna hurt a thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this side off. That choke's working, so I ain't gonna bother it. Basically, once you get it stripped down, it's just aluminum block sitting here. One more. Take plenty of pictures. Alright, so these two carbs are off. So what I did with the other ones, I just ran a big zip tie through them to hold them together. They got these little O-rings that go against the carburetor, air filter housing, I mean. So we'll take those out. You talk about a lot of pieces. So, like I said, I opened the throttle up and I just ran a big zip tie through both carburetors. And that'll hold them together so they won't. Just like that. So they ready to go in the cleaner. Cut this zip tie off so it won't be jumping around. So I'm gonna get all this stuff cleaned up, get the ultrasonic cleaner in here, fill it up, and we'll dunk these two. Alright, it's soaking time. So we'll stick these on in there. Stick all of it in there. Fill it up with some cleaner. Berryman shim dip. Took a lot to get those carburetors out of there. Hopefully I have enough. I won't have to go buy anymore. Pretty big carburetors. This is a brand new bucket. Should do it here. I think I'm gonna have to go buy another. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to go buy another 5-gallon bucket of this stuff. Or not 5 gallon, but not all the way up under there. So we'll have to run down and buy, I think, one more bucket. We should be good. One more pail, I mean. So they're gonna have to just sit tight. So let me run out to the parts store and pick that up. So put them in the ultrasonic cleaner, and they've been going on for about maybe an hour or so, and they're starting to look clean already. Starting to look really clean, way better than they did at first. So I'm probably just gonna let them soak for a little bit without it running. I mean, stuff's still pretty hot, and I think they'll be alright to put back together once we get the carburetor kits, which they're supposed to be in tomorrow, which is Thursday. So I'm gonna have to take some carburetor cleaner and kind of blow them off, you know, spray them out real good, get that get this other cleaner off of them. But I've been kind of rotating them around, just letting the stuff just get inside of all of the carburetor. These carburetors got little check balls and stuff on them, so I've been letting them sit for a little bit. I come out here and just kind of rotate them, so make sure I get the carburetor cleaner in all the little ports and check balls. So that's gonna be it for now. So when the kits come in, we'll get them all put back together and get them on the bike, and I hope it runs superb. So it's gonna be okay. So finally got the carburetor kits for the carburetors. It came in today. They got the needles, the seats, all the jets, the bowl gaskets. I think these are the O-rings for the tubes that go between the carburetors. So it's 4 kits. See, it says GL12, so that stands for GL1200. So we even got the needles that go in the middle. I don't know if I'm going to change those. But main jet, idle jets. So carburetors are clean. So now it's time to get started putting them back together. So this should be interesting. So as you've seen, I got all the stuff in the bottom of the carburetor. I ran into problems on one of them because they come with those little washer things. Where'd the other one go? I think I dropped it. Those little metal washers, they come with two of them. You can see them in the pack. Those little silver washers. And I had two of them on the seat where the needle goes, and it was stopping the float from going up and down. And I kept taking it apart, cleaning it. By the way, these are, oh, there it is right there. It's just a little metal spacer. And what it does, it just goes on the seat like that. Well, I had two of those on there, and it had the float rubbing the top of the seat, and I kept cleaning them out with these little carburetor jet cleaners. There's little brushes and little fine wire, and it was like, why it won't move? And then when I took it off, the second washer fell off. So that was my mistake. But now this comes with an air screw and the little O-ring that goes on it, and there's a little block off plate cap. And what you have to do, here's the new air screw here, and here is the little block off cap. What you have to do is you have to drill and tap it out. It's right here. You tap that out, you pull it out of there. The air screw is actually in there, and then you pull it out, replace the O-ring. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to mess with the air screw settings. They're already set from the factory, so I'm not going to disturb that. There's also a spring too. That's the spring. It's kind of hard to see. There's a spring and an O-ring, and I'm not going to mess with that. I'd rather leave the air screws like they are, because you get them out of tune, and then you got to set them all back. So we're gonna leave that factory set. But everything at the bottom of the carburetors together. All thing I gotta do now is get the air filter housing or manifold back over here. Put the carburetors on. I probably put the sliders in with the diaphragms first. That way I could just put it all together. Now the rest of these O-rings and stuff, I don't know where they go. I'm thinking they go to these little pipes between the carburetors. But like I said, I don't want to really disturb that because you can get the carburetors out of sync, and then I have to go get a synchronizer and sync the carburetors all back. So I didn't pull them apart when I soaked them, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to leave the rest of this stuff as it is. I might change the the slider needle. It came with a new one, so I might change that. But other than that, I'm not going to worry about the air screw and these little pipes. We're going to just stick it back together. So after I do that, then we can get it on the manifold, the air filter housing, and then it should be all hooked up and ready to go back on. So I'm going to mess with that and then hook all this choke wires back up. So Alright, so I finally got the throttle linkage hooked back up. Twist it. That opens the flaps. And I got the choke hooked up. Now it works. You just have to put the cable on there, and when the cable pulls, kind of hard for me to do with one hand. I just do it like this. That opens and closes the chokes. So all the linkages is hooked back up. It's kind of hard for me to do it from the bottom, but I can't do it from up here. Where is that little thing? Here it is. You can see the choke slides. It's moving in, moving out, moving in, moving out. Before, those were stuck. So now they work freely. On all 4 carbs. So now I just got to put that manifold thing back at the bottom. It actually bolts to the bottom here. It's got all those hoses on it, and I got to put the sliders in the carburetors. I was going to do the sliders first, but I was trying to remember how to put all the choke stuff back together, so I want to do that first. Like I said, we got the throttle, all that's working, everything's lubed up. So now I just got to put that thing back on, the intake manifolds, the springs, and the sliders, and hopefully I can get it on there tonight, and we'll fire this thing up. Hopefully it runs like it's supposed to, and no fuel leaks or nothing like that, and carbs perform perfectly. So I was going to change these slider trying to focus here, these slider pins, but I mean the slider needles, but I think I'm just going to leave the original ones in there. They look kind of different. I know they got different lengths and they got different thickness, so I don't want to bother that either, so I'm going to leave that in there just like the air screws and the rest of that little stuff. So anyway, I'm going to put this thing back together, get it on the bike, and hopefully we can fire it up and she runs good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put these throttle sliders in. Make sure these needles are clean, because they were stuck at first. And I got them marked what carburetor to go back in. So if you're doing any kind of street bike carburetor and you tear them down, make sure you put the sliders back in the carburetor that they came out of, because what will happen is these holes will get worn to these sliders, and they need to go back in the hole. So what I did, I just wrote right rear. I mean, that little ink ain't gonna matter nothing on it. I mean, I can take it off. It ain't no. Don't want to get it on that diaphragm though. I need to clean them off anyway because they were stuck. But go on there just like that. I already inspected them. They don't have any tears or rips in them. So cut these off. So we got the spring. Now you can buy these little diaphragms separately. I did see some that they was just selling separately, like if yours are torn I've never had to replace them on street bike carburetors. Man, I should have polished that up. That looks terrible. The rest of the carburetor looks clean, and this looks all dull. Let's see, can we clean that up? Oop. With some Mother's chrome polish. Because they're going to be sticking out where you can actually see them. So I just got some double steel wool, double alt, or double zero. I don't know if they're going to be shiny again. Look at all that. Mildew off. I can actually do it on the bike too. They kind of, I mean, it's going to take some polishing. Some, a little bit more elbow grease, maybe a buffing wheel. Yeah. They come with a little chrome though. They just got a lot of dirt on them. They are coming chrome though. We ain't trying to win a bike show. Is that the one I had? Let me get a new one. That one's coming apart. Like I say, we ain't trying to go to a bike show. We just want really should have put these in the ultrasonic cleaner. You would have got all that crud off. Huh. Give me an idea. What would have happened if we put these in the ultrasonic cleaner for a little bit? Is it worth it? I don't think so. I think that's as good as they're going to get. I'll probably polish them up while they're on the bike. Because I think two of the carburetors, the tops of them, you're not going to see because there's a chrome cover that goes over it. Make sure this gasket surfaces. Yeah, the chrome's kind of wore off on it. It's not going. It ain't gonna get no better than that. Not unless you polish it with a buffing wheel. But we ain't gonna worry about it. They go in a certain way. So this thing is 85 model, so the chrome is kind of wore off. Sorry if I'm sniffing, I'm still getting over this cold. Oh man. The screws are rusty anyway. That one's on. Make sure the screws are tight. You don't want no air leaks. Right. I guess I'll clean up the other ones. Ooh, that's bad. I don't know if you can, it's too much light. What I might do, yeah, these are looking real terrible. I might throw these off in the ultrasonic cleaner for a second, because these are really bad looking, and see how much dirt I can get off of them. Okay, so the carburetors are all together. I did put these in the ultrasonic cleaner, let it run, put some polish on it. They came out sort of clean. They look better than what they did. Just got some deterioration in the aluminum. Probably can hit them with a buffing wheel or something, get that out. But it melted the clear coat off. That wasn't any good. So it's ready to go on. I just got to put the little cover up there. That covers that up. And I'm going to wait and put the intakes on the carburetors after I get it in the bike, so they won't be catching on nothing. But hopefully they run good. No problems. And we'll be ready to hopefully take this thing out for a cruise. So I'm going to try and get things ready and get them back in the bike. Alright, it's the moment we've been waiting for. So I got the carburetors back on, the throttle's hooked up, choke is working. I got the air filter out just for right now. I ordered a new one, I'll show you in a minute. And so let's fire this thing up, hopefully it runs right. It's probably going to take a minute to get the fuel up to all four of these carburetors. So hopefully we don't run the battery down. Turn the choke on, and well, I tell you what, I'm gonna spray it anyway, kind of help it get going. Got to turn the gas on. Hope we don't have a fire like last time. Turn the choke off. Man, this thing be whirling over. Yes. Hope we get fuel. We should. I don't see it in the filter. Yeah, gas in the filter. Hopefully that fuel pump is strong enough. It was pumping when you took the line off. Picking the gas up. I don't think that fuel pumps. I don't think that fuel pump is let me open the carburetor bowls, see if any gas come out. Ain't got no gas going to the carburetors. Carburetors are bone dry. I bet you that got something leaking there. That water? Bad gas. Where's that coming from? Coming from the fuel filter? Make sure this pump's working. Where's this gas is dripping from? Stop now. Make sure this fuel pump is still. I have to hook up a different fuel pump. Yep. I might have to prime these carburetors, run a hot to the fuel pump and let it prime the carburetor bowls up, because I don't have no gas. Coming out of the bowls. I'm gonna check another carburetor. The carburetor's empty too. Let's see, the fuel pump wires is here. You just got a green and a black. So I just run straight to the battery. Maybe that'll prime the carburetors up. Don't know why. Some wires. Yes and no. We get over here. I think it's a call, man. Huh. Bunch of bad gas spewed out. Seems like the fuel pump it only works when the engine's turning over. So that'll be ground. Whoa! I think it's the other way around. Black must be hot. Nope. Well, that ain't gonna work. Green is ground, so I don't know why when I hook it up it's sparking. That is not, oh. Something ain't right with that fuel pump. Can't do it that way. Now what? Huh. Something come loose. That won't start by the key. Brand new cylinder one. Won't start with the start button. What's up with that? It's blinking the lights, but oh man, this thing really give me a headache now. Now that I want to turn over. Starter's not that hot. What's up with that? Been turned over. Now I gotta investigate and see why I won't. What if I jump a screwdriver across there? Would have thought we'd be running by now. So no starter. It's good. It's got something to do with this switch because I had bumped it and then it stopped. But it's blinking the light though. Like it ain't firing now. I think it's got something to do with the switch because I barely bumped that switch and that's when it quit real quick. Let me see if I'm firing. Let me get a spark plug. Can't believe that. I bet it's that on and off switch. I'm gonna have to hook up an electric fuel pump. A different one. No, it ain't firing. It's got something to do with this switch right here. So I see the lights dimming down. I'm gonna have to take this handle apart and I guess clean it out or something because somehow I lost contact. Man, that is unreal. Well, I ain't gonna bore y'all. Let me see if I can figure out what happened. She's running rich, really rich. Well, the problem I'm having is that electric fuel pump wasn't working, and so I hooked up the aftermarket clickety-clack fuel pump, and it's just flooding it out. So I ordered a new fuel pump for it. It should be here tomorrow, coming from Amazon, because right now it's just putting so much gas in it, it's just basically flooding it. And I don't know if it's hitting on all the cylinders. Woo! Ow, ooh, ow, ooh. It's hitting on that one. That was hot. And I think what the problem is it's basically flooding. It's got too much fuel pressure. Trying to see is all the cylinders hot. Can't tell. Got a little gas in it. I'm gonna have to wait till I get the right fuel pump, because it's when I hooked the electric fuel pump up, this one, it's putting too much fuel pressure. I don't know really what the fuel pressure is supposed to be, being that the other fuel pump was so small. But I did notice when that other fuel pump was working, it's like it pulsates as the engine turns over. So I'm thinking what it's doing is just, since I got it going straight to the battery, it's just putting straight fuel over there. And I guess, so it'll be here tomorrow. So I'm just gonna leave it alone till then, till I get the right fuel pump, and then hopefully we get it to run better, because it's just loading up. That's all it's doing. What I did was I wired in the clickety-clack pump to the light. It's pulsating. So she's running. A little smoky. Blew out a lot of stuff out of the tailpipe. And she ain't overheating either. It's just starting to come up. But I know I'm about to run out of gas. Man, that smells like mice turds. So the fuel pump will be here tomorrow. The original fuel pump. We'll get it hooked up. And I gotta get a new fuel filter. The new one I had on there when I was putting the carburetors in, it got smushed and it cracked and it was pouring gas out. So, but my volt gauge ain't melting over here. But the engine sounds good though. It was starting to rev up. I got the brand new air filter. I'm gonna put it in, and that's probably gonna make it run a hell of a lot better. But the problem I was having was the fuel pump started getting hot and it was shorting out, the original one, and that what made it blow the fuse, because it's all tied in with the ignition. And I went through all the wires and I just left the fuel pump unhooked and it stopped blowing the fuse for the ignition, because every time we turn it over with the fuel pump plugged up, as soon as I let off the start button, it blows the fuse, and it didn't want to turn over. So that fuel pump was bad. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put the air filter housing back together. I got a new air filter for it, and I might I think I got a little bit more gas. Might try and fire it up again and see how good it runs with the air filter hooked up. So here's the old air filter. Looks like somebody was a little hungry. And here's the new one. It's a high flow filtro. High flow filtro. Wow. Quality, high quality motorcycle air filter. And brand new. So no sticker. They don't give you no sticker. They used to give you stickers with a lot of filters and stuff. Oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna get this in there. Alright, so I got the air filter all back down in there. And let's fire up now. disengage. Uh-oh. That's a bad sign. Seemed like the clutch engaged, but it didn't disengage. I have to figure that out. I don't know if it needs some brake fluid in it or. Uh-oh. I think the clutch is stuck. Maybe something up with this master cylinder. I felt it squeeze in and then release. So I'm gonna have to figure out where does that go, because this got a hydraulic clutch on it. Pop this top off and see if there's any fluid in there, or find out what the slave cylinder is, get that released. So we got the new fuel pump came in today thanks to Amazon with a 1-day delivery. Came in about it's about 1:30, which is today is Saturday. I ordered it last night. So that's the old one. This is the new one. Now, it did have some bad reviews. I did notice that after doing further reading after I ordered it. They said it can be loud. Some people said it's a loud fuel pump. It works, but it makes a lot of noise. Some people say they work fine. So I think it's just, you know, it's just one of those cheap China brand fuel pumps, and every one of them is probably made different. But it comes with a fuel filter, just like the one I had on there. And it's supposed to be for Goldwing or Shadow. And some of them were saying that the hose fittings were different, which this one is. It looks like a 3/8 hose instead of the 5/16. But it's got the harness. What is that? Some kind of oil or something in there. I guess that's to keep it from locking up. They did say the harness can be too short. So I think that's going to be a problem. It had a lot of reviews. Yeah, the harness is going to be way too short. The plug is actually right here. So I'm going to have to cut the wires and add on to it. Look like they got one of them marked. It's in Chinese. That'll be positive. So I'm going to have to add on to the harness. And then I got to change the hose size because I think that's not 5/16, that's a 1/4. This one's got a 1/4 inch hose. This one's got 3/8. So different size hose that goes on there. I take this little rubber, I guess this is like a little mounting pad. It's supposed to be a bracket to hose that fuel pump down. It didn't come with the bike, but I can put that on here. I don't know what's that for. Is that some kind of, I hope it ain't a return line. All of them look like that online. But I didn't notice that when I ordered it. So now I got to change fuel size, hose, and I got to put the harness on there. So they did have a almost OEM one, but it would have took like 3-4 days to get. I really wanted to get this thing going this weekend. So even though we got some rain that came through and it's probably like 40 something degrees, It's been raining off and on all day, so go figure that. But I'm gonna see, can I get some fuel line on here, get it wired up. I mean, it was only like $22, so free shipping. If it works, it works. If it don't, I'll just have to just order another one. I'll probably try to find a better one, or I might just order the OEM one. Or since this clickety-clack pump is working so well, I might just put it back on there and run it, but it look crazy mounted down there. But gotta do what you gotta do. So anyway, I'm gonna try to go ahead and get some stuff together so we can get this mounted on there and run it off the original gas tank. So the only way I can get it to run is I put the universal fuel pump on it. That new fuel pump I bought, it didn't last 5 minutes. And they said that it wasn't no good. I wish I would have read it. It did before I ordered it. But I had it all rigged up on there. It clicker clackered in like 5 minutes. It stopped pumping. $20 fuel pump on Amazon like this. No good, like I said. So this goes right up to the original slot where the original pump goes. So I just basically just bolted it there, ran a hose off of it, ran to the original gas tank. Still got to fix my wiring up. Start cleaning up these wires and stuff, and put all the fairings all back together. And like I say, we got like a rainy day today, so it's been raining off and on. It's cold. I don't know if I'm gonna try and get out and ride it tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting all this stuff back on, and we'll just see what happens. So I let it sit here and run. The fans kicked on, but I did notice that I got a coolant leak, and it's coming from this weep hole coming from the water pump. There's a little weep hole right there, and that's where the water pump is. I think it's behind that cover. So I'm going to have to change the water pump. But the fan does work. I let it get up to temperature. So other than that, the engine sounds good. I went through the gears. Let's see what we pay. So yeah, get the key on, let it cool off some. So like I said, I'm gonna get everything buttoned up on it. I'm gonna order a water pump for it, and I'll probably test drive it first. It's not leaking that bad, and it's not running hot, so just make sure the clutch and everything, the transmission's good on the road before I go dumping even more money in it, but I think it'll be alright. So I got these things all together, took off down the road, ran fine. Halfway back, it fell on its face, and I went and bought another fuel pump because that other one I had on there, it was so loud you couldn't even hear the engine running. I think it was about to go out. So I went and bought one of those low pressure precision fuel pumps to put on it. Let it sit for a while. Ran good about half a block. Fell on its face. It was acting like it was starving for fuel. So now I don't know if I'm getting too much fuel pressure and it's just loading it up, even though that's supposed to be, I think, 3 to 4 psi. So it might be too big of a fuel pump. The only other option I can have is buying the correct one for it, or putting a fuel pressure regulator on it. Because I went through, re-gapped the plugs, and if you drain the bowls, I did find out, if you drain the carburetor bowls completely, let all the gas run out, then hook it all back up, it runs fine. So that's what's making me thinking that I think it's just building too much fuel pressure in those carburetors. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and just order the right fuel pump for it. I'm going to see what the pressure is on it. I didn't check. It might be 2 to 3, I don't know. But it did ride good. All the gears and everything shifted. I was going to video it when I came back, but like I said, I barely made it back. I mean, I had to hold it wide open. But I cleaned it up a little bit, put all the panels back on, and thought it was ready to really do a cruise. Like I say, it made it not even a block or half a block or something like that. And it just freaking died on it. So I'm gonna have to check out the fuel pumps. Like I said, I had bought that cheap one for the $20. It only lasted 5 minutes. If I would have just read the reviews before I bought it, but it was like late at night. They said they can get it here the next day, so I went ahead and ordered it, and it came in. And like I said, I hooked it up, it pumped for like 5 minutes and quit. Looking at the reviews, they were saying they either start leaking, they're too loud, but they work, or they don't work at all. So Amazon will be getting that one back. So I'm gonna look at an OEM style fuel pump for it. I'm gonna look and see what the pressure rating is. But like I said, I've been playing around with it for the last 2 or 3 days, and just wanted to go ahead and end this part of this segment now, till I can figure out what's going on with it and get it out and actually do some driving with it. Other than that, the engine sounds good. Engine runs good, clutch shifts good. I mean, transmission shifts good, clutch works good. It's just whatever's going on with the fuel system. It's got to be pressure. So anyway, I'm gonna end it right here. Hope y'all had a good weekend, and y'all just stay safe out there, and like I say, you leave some comments below, and I'll try and get this thing percolating. Let's see what it even crank up again. Won't even idle. I have to hold the gas for it to keep going. So I'm really leaning towards fuel pressure. But anyway, I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all be safe out there, and we'll deal with it when figure out what it is, I guess, or might be for sale. It and his little brother over here. I don't know. We'll figure it out, I guess. Maybe. Okay, before I give up too quick, what I did was I drained all 4 carburetors, turned the gas off, and now I'm going to try and crank it with the carburetors empty. Now if it cranks up and runs good that way, that means that it's getting too much fuel. And that means that the fuel pump is not just the right one for it. It's overfueling it, and once it loads up, it don't want to burn that gas out. By draining the carburetors completely empty, it gives the pump a chance to fill it back up, but then once it starts putting too much fuel pressure in the carburetors, it starts loading up, and then it don't want to run. So let's just see how it will crank. Might take it a minute because the bolts are in. Put the choke on. Uh-oh, I think the battery's going down. Yeah, I had to put the charger on it. Let me get the charger. Thing is dragging a battery in a second. Oh, I've got to turn the gas back on. Duh. Well, I know the carburetors are empty. Fuel pump should fill it back up. Uh-oh. She don't want to crank it all now. What's going on over there? Okay, starting to fill it back up. Hopefully. She don't want to start at all. I don't want to burn the starter up. It won't even hit now. Now I'm at a loss. You won't hit a lick now, folks. I don't know what's up with that. Fuel filter's full. Let me open the carburetor bowl. Find the flathead. See if there's any gas coming out. It's almost like there's no gas coming out. Is air locking in the system or something? Or strange. Fuel filter's full, but there's no gas coming out of the bulbs. I got gas in this bowl over here. A little bit. Doing nothing. Wonder if there's a compression problem. Because it spins over so fast, you might have a compression problem. So that'll be something I might need to do. I might need to do a compression test on it. It is whirling over kind of fast, but now it won't crank at all. It's got no fuel coming to that one, so it should, if the fuel pump's pumping it over there, unless the vacuum help suck it over there. But now it ain't cranking at all, so back to the drawing board. So still working on this thing. I know I said I was going to end this video, but I'm just trying to get it to run right before I tear it back down again, but I'm believing that it's in the carburetors. I bypassed the gas tank, and I just got it running off of my gas bottle here, going straight to the fuel pump. I can get it to crank now, but it seemed like it's not running on all the cylinders. So I went around with a spray bottle, I sprayed the pipes, and this cylinder here, the pipe wasn't, it was just cold. I could touch it with my hand. So I did a compression test. Compression looks good. It's got spark on that cylinder, so the only thing I can think of, something has gotten those carburetors, even though I ultrasonic cleaned it. I don't know if it was in the fuel line or what, but something has gotten those carburetors and allowing it not to let gas flow through. I mean, it might crank, I don't know. I had it running a few minutes ago. It's like it's barely running. It won't take any gas. Just dies. So I'm gonna have to end up taking those carburetors back off. There's something in those carburetors, some trash or something that got in there. It's got a new fuel filter. It could be those aftermarket needles and seats. It could be something holding the float. I don't know. It's not running gas out of the carburetors like the floats are stuck. But I had problems with a couple of the carburetors didn't have gas in them, and I've been going through everything with this bike. So I'm gonna end up taking the carburetors back off and see what I can find. I mean, it'll crank up and run. Sometimes it'll crank up and run good. You let it sit there and idle, and it's like something just gets in there and it just starts running crappy. So I'm gonna make some arrangements to tear it back down again go through the carburetor. So this is gonna be it on this part of the Goldwing for a minute. So you might not see it for a minute until I get it tore back down, and that's gonna take a while. It takes a lot to take. You don't have to take the whole fan off, just the bottom half. But you got to pull the fake gas tank cover, the seat, the side covers, unhook the intakes. I mean, it takes a lot to get out, but I know what it takes to get it off now, and it shouldn't take that long. But anyway, like I said before, y'all like, share, subscribe, leave comments, and I guess I'm gonna have to tear it down if I want it to run right. I wanted to start on that one, but I really wanted to get this one running first. I did put some PB blaster in the spark plug hose, so I'm just letting it sit, and hopefully I can get it to turn over. If not, I'm not even gonna worry about it, because this one's a headache enough. So a lot of people said these Goldwings are a headache to keep running when they sit, and they sit. So you gotta play with them to get them back up and going. But I got faith in this one. There's nothing wrong with the motor. So anyway, that's gonna be it. I'll let y'all know.